Hi, my name's Josh Vogel. It's my buddy Judah. We're filming a couple of techniques to answer some questions about a guard pass counter that I was showing last week. If you like this stuff, you can go to www.theswathreport.com. If you don't, then don't. I'm just kidding. But so the position is, let's say, so we were doing the over-under pass before, but somebody asked the question, what if his leg is stapled over my thigh like this? And now the position changes a little bit because now my hips are locked in place and my bottom leg is stuck, right? So the first thing we're gonna deal with is if he's cupping my thigh here and keeping pressure. So a lot of the time people are trying to make you do a split here and get your knee to your nose. So the first thing I try to do here is I try to block both of his passes. So one hand is going to be keeping pressure on his shoulder or his bicep here. I'm basically trying to prevent him from going around this way. Sometimes I'll take my leg down here and put like a downward pressure. And then my other hand is blocking here so that he doesn't wrap my neck up and then back step, right? So if he's starting like start to pass either way. So I'm keeping heavy pressure with my leg. And I'm making a frame by pressing into him, right? So from here, start to pass again. And then, so what I did with my frame there was as he's starting to put pressure to pass, I'm like linking myself to him or connecting myself to him by getting tense and kicking my leg down into him. And then from here, I push and start to rock by pushing my hips into him and releasing the pressure back and forth. And then as soon as I feel his leg get a little bit light, so when you start to go, I'm trying to get my bottom leg out. And then, I mean, you could try to go for a triangle, but against better people, they're gonna sense this and start to get their arm in, and you're probably not gonna get the triangle, but it'll turn to this kind of situation. So, number one is as he's going, so he starts to put pressure, I'm tensing up and releasing and rocking back and forth until I can squirm my knee out by pushing his leg off, and now my leg is free. And then from here, like I said, you can go to whatever here, start doing this kind of stuff. Now the second one, this is one that I use a lot more often, especially against people that are a lot heavier than me. So from here, he starts to grab my lapel and stack me up and pass. So my hand is gonna go on his shoulder here. I'm gonna slide down just a little bit this way. My hand goes to his far shoulder, and as he starts to pass, I'm putting my foot on the mat. This hand is on his hip. So if we slide around this way, just so they can see. Hand on the shoulder, hand on the hip. My foot pushes on the mat, and I'm gonna kick with a straight leg, kicking his head away, shrimp, and either get my guard back or sometimes get to a triangle. The reason I'm kicking down on the head, for him to do this stack pass effectively, he's gotta get his head over my head. Right? And then this becomes a problem because now if he drives his hips forward, he smears my leg off. When he gets his head over my head, this kills a lot of my counters, right? I can't kick him back over this way. I can't elbow push if his head is over top of my head and his elbow is tight. I can't do that elbow push. So for me, the hand on the shoulder as he's driving into me, hand on the shoulder, hand on the hip, my foot goes on the mat and I kick his head away so it's no longer over top of my head, scooting my hips. And then as a drill, sometimes I go to the triangle and then he grabs the lapel with the other hand. Yeah, here. And it turns into a drill back and forth. When you do that, that's gotta be done fast. So the leg chops down on the head quickly and you scoot your hips and shrimp back quickly to your guard. Then the third one is here, he's got the knee stapled over my thigh, he grabs the lapel. Now sometimes, if I get the timing right, I can grab the wrist and I can start to get up and hook my shin over the back of the neck, hips scoot out. I have to keep everything tight on this grip. From here, and then sometimes I can get to a crucifix. This almost never happens when I'm sparring, but what happens more often is, if we do again, if I aim for that result, I go here and then start to spar from here a little bit. a lot of the time it turns into some kind of scramble where I either almost get his back or he ends up back in my open guard, but aim for the turning all the way around for the crucifix, get your hips to the sky, hook your shin tightly on the back of the neck, aim for that, and if you don't get that, at least you'll get out of that bad position. Those are the things that I usually do. I'm not very good at the elbow push. I know a lot of people like the Marcelo Garcia style elbow push. I'm really not good at that, so I don't feel totally comfortable showing that, but those are the ones that I usually use a lot, especially the first one where you like link to them and kind of rock back and forth and get your bottom leg out. And the second one where you put the hand on the shoulder, hand on the hip, straight leg down, and then shrimp and get guard back. I use those two a lot, so give them a shot. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. You're a gentleman, Judah.